What's up, Rockstar? Betty Rocker here. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making you overnight oatmeal, which is super simple and easy. And the reason it's an overnight process is because we're going to be combining an acidic solution with our oats. And I've got some different oats here to show you, as well as a few different acidic solutions that you can use to make this process happen very easily. Now, there's a lot of controversy around eating grains. I know this, and the reason that I personally eat grains is because I've learned the proper way to prepare them. You want to be soaking, sprouting, or fermenting your grains. And no, you don't have to soak, sprout, or ferment all of your own food personally. These days, these concepts are actually, fortunately, coming much more to light, and it's possible to find great pre-soaked, sprouted, or fermented foods in the grocery store. So, for example, it's very easy to find Ezekiel sprouted grain bread. I found it at every type of grocery store that I've been to, anywhere from a Walmart to a Whole Foods. They keep it in the cold or frozen section usually because it's a perishable food. There aren't a lot of additives in it, and it's made from sprouted grains. Now, you'll find in certain cultures there are a lot of fermented foods, and these are cultures that have very healthy guts because fermented foods are really, really good for our gut health. Fermenting grains is just a wonderful way to break down some of the stuff on the external coating of the bran or the grain, and those types of things are like phytic acid, which is a phosphorus-bound compound that strips things like zinc, magnesium, minerals from your gut as it passes through when it's untreated. Grains and also contain things like enzyme inhibitors on the external coating of the bran. Now, it's very easy to break those things down. The reason they exist is because in nature, a seed needs time, heat, and warmth to germinate and sprout, right? So when we just eat that stuff without taking the time that nature intended for it to take, it can actually do us more harm than good. And when we're over-consuming grain-based foods like we do in the typical Western diet, we really aren't doing ourselves any favors. We're setting ourselves up for inflammation, irritable bowel syndrome, bad energy, very blocked up flow in our gut. And if you've ever experienced this, be sure to let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Now, there's a whole gluten-free diet craze, which is certainly a helpful way to approach eating and does help eliminate a lot of grains. And I'm certainly an advocate of you finding the best solution for your body. However, I don't like to eliminate all grains. Instead, I prefer to properly prepare the grains or look for ways to get them properly prepared. I was mentioning Ezekiel sprouted grain bread as one of the awesome ways to get a sprouted grain bread so that you can still enjoy bread. I've also found germinated brown rice, sprouted quinoa. They're just becoming more and more easy to find options, and I'll put some links to some of the products that I use to save me time here in the link on the blog for you. So let's talk about what you should look for when you're looking for your oats when you are going to soak them the way that I'm going to show you. So you want to look for whole oats, okay? And a whole oat is like these oat groats, and I've got a couple of different examples of how you can find oat groats. And an oat groat is basically the way that an oat grows, the actual whole oat. And these are steel cut oat groats, which means that they've been cut by a steel cutter. Let's see if I can get this package open here. Yep. So these oats have actually been cut by a steel cutter. And you can see that they are they're all pretty even in size, and they're pretty hard and dense to the touch. This is rolled oats. These are also fine. These have been pressed, heat pressed usually, so they're a little bit one step down, I would say, from the full-on oat groat, but still excellent and a great source of fiber, lasting energy. What you want to avoid are those instant oatmeal packets, these quick oats, these types of things, because the way that the oat is treated, it goes through this like heat pressing process, and it's more than just the heat pressing. Often there are chemicals involved, and it can just not really give you the fiber or the good nutrients that you're actually looking for that you would get actually from a more wholesome oat source. So I recommend looking for a whole rolled oat or oat groat, steel cut oat groat. Steel cut oats is basically what you want to look for, and just avoid the quick cooking oats. So what we're going to do is just measure 1 cup of our steel cut oats into a bowl, cover it with warm water, and then we're going to add an acidic solution to help break down some of those enzyme inhibitors and that phytic acid so that we can enjoy all of the awesome energy and fiber from our oats. So I'm just gonna set that stuff aside. I've got a cup, 1 cup of warm water. I'm just gonna pour that over the top of my oats here. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of any of these acidic solutions, so your choice. So you could either use an apple cider vinegar, which you may have around the house. This is great, by the way, for washing your veggies. It's a super awesome, versatile, and it's really good for your body as well. You could use lemon juice. You could use a kefir product, which is full of like cultures, like yogurt. It's a lot like a yogurt, basically. It's like a drinkable yogurt, basically. Or you could, of course, use a yogurt. So whatever you kind of had on hand, any of these would work really well. I'm actually going to use the apple cider vinegar. Don't worry about the flavor, because we're going to soak this overnight, and then we're going to actually rinse the oats and boil them tomorrow. So you won't taste this at all. And I'm also going to be adding some vanilla extract and some other stuff to my oats as well, so really nothing to worry about. But if you are concerned, please go with a more mild tasting acid base. So I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of this. Perfect. I'll just give it a quick stir here. And then the final step is I'm just going to cover this up and set it on my counter over here overnight. And you don't want to put this in the refrigerator. You just want to let it sit at room temperature overnight. And tomorrow, I'm going to time travel with you in this video to tomorrow, and I will show you how to prepare it once it's soaked. All right, so we have time traveled to the future, and these oats have really absorbed all of the water that we soaked them in. There's a little bit of water left from in the side here, and I'm just going to drain this into the sink quickly. I'm also just going to give it a quick rinse with some fresh water and drain it again. Alright, so once you have drained off the water and given your oats a quick rinse, we're just going to throw them on the stovetop with a little more water and cook them up super quick. So as you can see, they've already absorbed all of that water that we added from last night. And really it just depends on whether you're using rolled oats or oat groats to how much water you're going to add at this stage. Now I used oat groats, as you remember, so I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of water. If you used regular, just steel cut oats, you could use 1 cup of water. That would be fine. And I'm just going to transfer them into my pot on the stove top, add some water, and we will be good to go. So I've got it over a medium heat, and I'm just going to stir the oats in, and then I'll just cover them up and let them simmer. All right, so our water is all nice and absorbed after like 10, 11 minutes. Super quick. I gave it a couple quick stirs, but not that much. And now I'm just gonna add some other yummy ingredients, turn off the heat, and we're ready to go. All right, so at this stage, there are so many things that you could do with your oatmeal, but the point is that now it's really cooked down, and it's in its form that is going to be the most easily digestible for your body. It depends on you and how big of a portion size you consume. For me, this would be about 4 servings, and I'm going to actually make it in a jar right now and layer it up with some other yummy things. So first I'm just going to add a little bit of vanilla extract, and I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm probably going to add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Just stir that in. And because I really, really like to have a balanced breakfast, meaning I like to have protein with my complex carbs, I'm going to actually add in a few servings of vanilla protein powder. This is going to give it even more of a delicious vanilla flavor. This is totally optional, by the way. You don't have to do this. I'm just getting my scoop out. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in 3 servings of protein powder. Now, I'm going to be topping my oatmeal with some hemp seeds, and I'll be adding a little almond milk or Greek yogurt potentially when I'm eating it. So that'll add a little extra protein boost when I'm actually serving this, but just to give myself a little extra protein, I'm gonna just mix in some of this vanilla protein powder. Now, you could use a whey protein powder. I'm using Garden of Life's vanilla plant protein powder, which is awesome. It's just a grain-free, it's delicious. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and add in just a little almond milk to this right now, about a 1/4 cup, just eyeballing it. You can measure it if you want to, just to get it a little stickier. And you could add some cinnamon or nutmeg, or you could even add in some canned pumpkin, anything that sounds good to you. It's really easy to flavor your oatmeal any way that you want. And now I'm gonna do the fun part, which I think is super fun. I'm gonna actually layer this jar with the oatmeal. I've just chopped up an apple with some blueberries, and I've got some fresh pecans here. So I'm just gonna make sort of a jar layered effect. You could add yogurt, fresh yogurt, if you are good with dairy, to this as well, but I like to serve the yogurt with the oats fresh, but it's also great if you want to let it refrigerate like that. So I'm just going to go with about a 1/4 cup at a time, and this can be really, really simple. I'm going to grab one of my mini spatulas and just get it in there, layer at the bottom with my oats. And you could also do a layer of like almond butter, you know, just drizzle some, like warm up your almond butter a little bit, drizzle that, and you can get super creative with this. It's so fun. And then you just take like a long spoon to pull it out, because it's all gonna like kind of soak together and absorb together. Super, super fun. So I'll do another layer. Oh, I'll do a little bit of my pecans in here. And we're gonna add another layer of the oats. This is not the most precise cooking experiment, but works great. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be delicious. So, layer 2 is happening. Let's do some more fruit. Yum! Runaway blueberries! So good. Okay, let's add some more of these yummy pecans. Add another layer of oats. All the way to the top with this. Add a little bit more, actually. This is looking so good. Add a little bit more of this. And a final scoop of oats. And I'm actually gonna make myself a bowl to eat right now with the remainder that I have in here. Fun. Maybe I'll just pop a little bit of these on top. And there we go. We've got the cutest overnight oatmeal jar all ready, and I'm going to cover this up and stick it in the fridge, and I'll use that to serve myself daily. And now you're going to be able to count on being able to get all of those wonderful nutrients from the oats. With the neutralizing agent that we used, really broke down the phytic acid, the enzyme inhibitors, so now you can really count on being able to get all of the awesome energy from the oats themselves without worrying about any of that other stuff. So this is my overnight oatmeal. I'm just going to go ahead and take this bowl that has a little leftover fruit in it, and I'm going to serve myself the rest of this oatmeal so that I can have breakfast. Be sure to check out my meal plans if you're looking for a plan to follow to help you stay on track with healthy whole food eating. And I hope that you have an amazing day. I'm gonna eat my breakfast. This is so delicious. Oh my gosh, so good. All right. I'm Betty Rocker. You are so awesome. I'll talk to you again real soon. Stay healthy.